Hello Multi-Monopoly Monday Moonshiners, and thank you to Christian Atala for providing the malt mention for Ralphie Review 897 extras. Before I go any further, could I just remind you that the OSWAs are happening, the online Scotch Whisky Awards. So go to the website, there's a link below, oswa.co.uk, and register your vote. When you participate, you connect with a growing voice of online enthusiasts and whisky fans and buyers who are providing as direct as possible feedback through the portal of the online Scotch Whisky Awards to the industry as to what whisky we value and we want to buy. And also, we're telling the industry about the whisky we don't want to buy. So, I've just reviewed 12-year-old Cooperative Supermarket single malt whisky and given it 81 out of 100 in Ralphie Review 897, and it was a malt mark. There you go, 81. Not a great mark, but hey, I've reviewed it, so it's good enough. And the way I reviewed it was when I opened the bottle and found it kind of fairly stale and unappetising and uninteresting, I knew to leave the cork off, let it breathe, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so I can leave the cork off overnight and it's going to be fine. No worries. It's not going to all evaporate out during the night in these tropical temperatures that we enjoy in the Irish Sea. I don't think so. And I let it settle down and open up, and it became a far, far better version of itself. In fact, it improved nothing short of spectacularly. But we can take it further, because what's important to me is I know that many of Ralphie fans and malt mates are on a budget. And some of you are on a severe budget. You enjoy your whisky. You want to get into more whisky, but that budget's restraining you and holding you back. And I can relate to that because I've been in that situation myself in the past. And here's a way around it. I'm going to empower you to invest in a better whisky moment for the maximum value and the best economy. Here's what you do. You buy a bottle of the supermarket whisky, and it doesn't cost much, and you pour a wee dram. And then you pour another wee dram. I'll just top this one up here. £25 a bottle. Competent malt, not particularly exciting, but hey, you get what you pay for. Sometimes, to be honest, you don't get what you pay for. That's one reason why you come and watch my channel, Malt Mates, is it not? And here's what you do. See that bottle you got for your birthday? That wasn't that expensive, but it's really, really good. Here's an example. Lechake, Lechik, Lecheg, Ledaig, Lechoke, whatever. 10-year-old Isle of Mull peated single malt, integrity bottling, 46.3%, unchill filtered. Great whisky. 90 out of 100 from Ralphie. It's got to be good. Prices are going up, but it's still affordable. It's still available. How long will that last? Not long. And here's what you do. You pour your supermarket whisky, and this precious bottle, which you need to take your time with, you just put in a little splash. Don't even bother measuring it. Can if you want to. You could get a wee dropper. You could put in 1 drop, 2 drops, 6 drops, 12 drops. You've got full control of it. You do what you want because it's your whisky. I've shown this before, but this is so important that I'm showing it again. Because it doesn't matter what your budget and where you're at. This is always a good thing to do. You learn so much from it. But in this instance, for those who are seriously on a budget, I'm showing you how to upsize and upscale the quality of your whisky for the budget you've got. And this is the most immediate, simple and spectacular way of doing it. You're blending up, having a nose. Immediately I'm noticing the peat from the Ledaig. And I can contrast it now with the cooperative 12-year-old budget single malt. Very quiet, very closed compared to this. So I'm going to add a drop of water. How much? Not much. 1 millilitre. Now you've got 2 glasses of whisky. Your basic budget and your supercharged. What happens is you don't just change the flavour, you upgrade the calibre of presentation. You're moving away from something which is harshly chill filtered and caramel coloured with E150A. And you're moving away from that, you're restoring it back to a more authentic, flavoursome integrity bottling whisky. And even a small nudge will take that basic whisky a big distance. Now if you want, you can pour one bottle into the other. And you know, you could, with a group of mates, you could chip in, buy a better bottle of whisky, have a few drams, split what's left into the bottle into miniatures, take it home and put it into your basic supermarket. Another great solution. But what's the real difference between this one from the supermarket and this one which is supermarket enhanced Ledaig? Is it marginal? Because I've not added much Ledaig to the cooperative basic budget single malt. What's happening is, because the cooperative malt is actually basically decent, it's just a bit thin, a bit over processed, it's being invigorated by the presence of this other affordable whisky that's elevating it in its competency and in the tangible improvement of smell and taste and the satisfaction that you get from thereof, while still managing your budget very carefully. Having a taste now. Taste of the basic cooperative. Fruity, toffee, bit of grapefruit, bit of lemon, bit of ginger. Slightly sour in the finish. Short journey. Swift arrival, swift development, swift finish. Not a lot to say. Competent, worth 81 out of 100. Once you've really opened it up and given it time. The enhanced version, I'm getting the peat on the nose. It's distinctive. It takes very little to have a significant impact, because essentially the first whisky is a blank canvas. It's a magnolia canvas, a vanilla canvas, to make the other additional flavours coming into it really pop more. This glass, the peatiness is fresher and more earthy and more zippy like Caol Ila than in the original Ledaig. This Ledaig has changed direction. The two whiskies, they literally bond together immediately. You could use Ardbeg, that would work. Caol Ila, that would work. Benromach Peat Smoke, that would work. Laphroaig, you're just going to get another version of Laphroaig when you do that. Ledaig, great sympathetic addition to your basic whisky, and here you're getting a greatly elevated experience as cheaply as you can, as is affordable. As cheaply as is affordable. Let's have another wee taste here, because this is really quite interesting. I'm going to add just a drop more water before I tie things up. And yes, I will be providing a malt mark for this infusion. It's now a blended malt, but hey, so what? Who cares? There's plenty of blended malts better than single malts. You know that. Oh, that strolley-poly's a bit rapid. Better slow things down. I'm not in a hurry. What's the hurry? We're not going anywhere. The clock can wait for us. Much softer nose, more substantial, more complex, lot more going on. Taste. A much more barley sugar, honeyed, softer version, in which this, although it's a much smaller quantity, it's this that dominates. The finish is just slightly lacking, but the development is so enhanced. The softness of the peat is so beguiling and refreshing in comparison to as a single malt that I have no problem, and this is going to intrigue you now, and I've been experimenting about this, so you will notice there's a significant difference. We're literally up to 86 out of 100, and it's still a malt mark because they're both malt whiskies, but it's a blended malt mark now. 86 out of 100 says it all. Says everything you need to know. I'm Ralphie. I hope you've enjoyed this extras. I think the timing is quite important here. I'm recording this in October 2021, so for a historical point of reference in the time capsule, I can tell you right now, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we're now on the doorstep of serious global inflation of costs. It's serious. It's not 5%, not even 10%. You're looking at, right across the board, 20% plus rises in the cost of commodities globally. I've seen this brewing for long enough. It's happened in the past. There's nothing new about it. Except this time it's going to happen so much faster than it has before. It's the new reality. So buy your whiskies now, maltmates, because I anticipate come 2022 that we are going to see a serious price hike right across the industry for all spirits, all liquors, all alcoholic beverages. And we're going to look back to now, October 2021, and say, my goodness, remember back in 2021, whiskies were so cheap. Back then I could afford my whiskies and I was in a budget. Just watch this space, and I'm just telling you because you need to know, you need to prepare. I'm Ralphie, thank you for watching. I hope you have many quality malt moments, and for those of you who are in a budget, drink less, keep it quality, do this, and you're going to have more out of the experience than other people with big fat budgets who have paid £10,000 for a bottle of whiskey and have no idea what they're tasting. They haven't a clue. But they just bought it because they had the money. Are they any happier for it? Are they any better off at the end of the day? No, they're not. You, on the other hand, because you've really had to push and stretch your budget for something like this, you'll make the most of it. And because of that, you're going to get the most out of it. And it will help to educate your palate. And you'll just, it's like a an artist's canvas here. You can add one black dash, 2 dashes, 3 dashes. You can add a splash to the bottle, see where it goes. Add a splash of that bottle to this bottle. It's complete open season, and you're going to, undoubtedly, as long as you keep it quality, you're going to get surprises. You're going to come across things you did not expect and anticipate. And frankly, you're going to have experiences that money can't buy. These experiences can only happen, maltmates, because you've got the courage and the initiative to make it happen and stick your neck out a wee bit and explore with your blending on a budget. Good luck.